Asian American stereotypes, how they make us feel and how we can respond. Have you ever heard the word stereotype before? Today, we are going to learn about stereotypes. Sometimes we separate or sort things into different groups. This is natural and normal and helps us make decisions. For example, you may sort your toys into different baskets. You could sort your toys by color. That way you know where all the blue toys are. Or you might want to sort by the kind of toys they are. Then you can keep all the bears together or go and get all the cars whenever you want them. Sometimes we sort people into groups based on how they look or where they come from. But sometimes this can lead us to make wrong decisions about a person or a group of people. You know why? Because people aren't as simple or predictable as balls or toy cars. We're all different and unique no matter what we look like or where we come from. When people have false or untrue beliefs or assumptions about other people because of a group they belong to, like their gender or race, how they look, or where they come from, those beliefs are called stereotypes. Stereotypes are when people think that something that is true for some people in a group is true for all the people in that group. Let's look at an example. Here's a stereotype about gender. Some people believe that all girls like the color pink, but that's not true. It's just a stereotype. The reality is that some girls like the color pink, but some don't. There are stereotypes about many different groups of people, including Asian Americans. Asian Americans are super diverse, which means there are a lot of differences between them. But some people believe stereotypes that tell untrue stories about people who are Asian American. We're going to talk about some of the stereotypes or false beliefs about Asian Americans. We'll talk about how it feels to be stereotyped and what you can do when someone believes a false or wrong idea or story about you because of how you look. Some people may think that all Asian Americans like math and science, or that they're good at math and science. But this is a stereotype about Asian Americans. Some Asian Americans like math and science, and others don't. Some might like math and science a little bit, but like something else a lot more. You might really like reading, music, social studies, sports, art, writing, skateboarding, gardening, gaming, space, swimming, cooking, animals, or something else. When people think that you should be good at math or science just because you're Asian American, it can make you feel like you have to do really well in those subjects in school. And this can feel weird or annoying. Try to remember that you can like whichever subjects and activities you want. What do you like to do? What do your friends like? Some people may think that all Asian Americans were born outside America, but this is not true. Some Asian Americans were born in other countries and then moved to America, and some Asian Americans were born in America, and their families have been living here for generations, for a really long time. Some people may ask you where you're from, and this may make you feel like you don't belong here. If you feel weird, annoyed, angry, or sad when this happens, try to remember that you can decide where you belong. And if you want, you can let people know that Americans come from many different places all over the world, and this doesn't make anyone less American. Where were you born? Where were your parents born? How long has your family been living in America? What about your friends and their families? People may also comment on how you speak. If you speak English, they may be surprised because they may think that you only know an Asian language, like Chinese. In reality, Asian Americans speak whichever languages they grew up hearing, just like everybody else. Sometimes that's just one language, and sometimes it's two or more. People may also notice that the way you speak English or the way your parents speak English sounds different from the way they speak English. This is because some Asian Americans have been speaking English longer than others. Some Asian Americans started to speak English as their first language when they were little. Others learned English when they were older. And some are still learning English, and that's okay. Everybody sounds different when they speak. The unique ways in which people speak are called accents. This can be based on which language they're speaking, where they learned to speak that language, and how long they've been speaking that language. How you speak a language does not decide how smart or how nice you are. What languages are spoken in your family? Can you think of people who speak another language or who speak English differently than you do? Do you remember the COVID-19 pandemic? During this time, some people were mean to Asian Americans because they thought that Asian Americans were spreading the virus. Many Asian American people, including elders, were hurt during this time. This felt really scary, and it was not fair. Many people stood up for the Asian American community during this time and taught people that Asian Americans were not spreading the virus and that hurting a group of people because of false beliefs, how they look, or where they come from is wrong. People may also think that you look like other Asian American kids or confuse you for them. This may make you feel annoyed, angry, or sad. You can always correct people and tell them who you are. For example, you can say, "That's not me. My name is Layla." Stereotypes can cause all types of feelings. They might make us feel angry, sad, frustrated, or just weird. Sometimes positive stereotypes can make people feel good. If people believe that you're good at math and science, it can feel nice that people think you're smart. But if people believe you're good at math and science only because you're Asian American, that's not very nice. No matter how stereotypes make us feel, we can always talk about what happened to us and how it made us feel with our friends, families, and teachers. This can help us to understand what happened, feel supported by our loved ones, and think about what we can do to make things better. We can avoid stereotyping by being careful when we sort people into groups and by asking people about themselves. For example, every book has a different story, but the title and the picture on the cover never tell you the full story. So just like you need to read a book to know the real story, you need to get to know a person or ask a person about themselves to know what they're really like. So remember, every Asian American person is different and unique in their own special way, just like books. No two books are ever the same, even if the pictures or colors on the covers of the books look similar, and even if the books are written by the same author and live on the same shelf in the same library. People are just like stories. They're never exactly the same, even when they look like one another or come from the same place. Asian Americans are a big group of people that have some things in common, but this doesn't mean we're all the same. Every Asian American person has their own story.